Okay. So, Mahakoshi, Mahavarta.
Yes. Uh, can we start?
Yes, Shekhar, yeah,
Rajnavi,
let's
are you
start.
expecting? Okay,
Uh, I
no
can
problem.
call him, but let us start.
Yes, sure. So the next nama is Mahavarta. This is one of the most fascinating namas in Bhavani Sahasranama because it is so full of imagery. I somehow feel uh, when we read such namas, why a human authorship cannot be conceived for a text like these, whether it is Lalita Sahasranama or Bhavani Sahasranama. Normally, when we understand the word Mahavarta, Avarta means a whirlpool. Okay, no, the whirlpool that we see in a river. So Mahavarta is uh, the larger form of a whirlpool, and uh, even according to the Puranic imagery, there are two types of clouds which will contribute to the pralaya. One is called as Pushkara, the other is called as Avarta. So Pushkara is that which will ensure no torrential downpour, therefore flooding the entire earth. And Avarta is the cyclonic storms, okay, that will cause havoc and destruction on the earth. So these are the two types of clouds. So Avarta is normally a term which is used for circular movement. Especially when we speak of Avarta, it is the whirlpool. Now, I I want to share why I feel that this Avarta as a term or Mahavarta as a nama is very fascinating for me. To me, this one nama explains, in essence, the crux of the Trika philosophy. How do we understand the para, and apara nature of Devi? This one nama is sufficient because it is always know in the learning, we say from the known to the unknown. This one example shows no, and deeply entrenches that idea within us. So basically, what is the point? The point is when we imagine a river, okay, and water itself, okay, as a river, when we take the water is one continuous body, right? For all practical purposes, let's take that. Water is one continuous body. And in one place within the river, this whirlpool forms. No, there's this spinning pattern that forms. And it actually looks like a very distinct entity within the river. But the matter of fact is that nothing new has been added. Okay, water has not become something else there. It is nothing but our whirlpool is simply water in a kind of a dynamic self organization. So, when we extend this uh, to the concept of spanda, what is spanda? So, spanda is, as per the Spanda Karika and other texts, it is the pulsation within the consciousness. It's all right. It manifests the universe, the Shakti, which manifests the universe, differentiates first into subject and object, and then the object itself. The Shakti becomes the time, the space, the mind, the body. But the underlying principle is that it never departs from the pure consciousness, which is actually the substratum of the whole thing. So, just like the whirlpool shows how something can appear distinct while never being separate, similarly, the the individual self, no, we call as Jivatma, or the individual self, the thoughts, the objects, the world, all of this appeared as distinct structures in the field of awareness. But if you remove consciousness from all of it, nothing remains. So it is this Shakti that creates these structured patterns within the uh, within the awareness itself. So when we look at it from the three levels of para, and apara, see the para is the still depth, the depth of the river, which is still, which is not moving. Yet it is containing the potential for the movement. See, this is where the Trika is different from all the other darshanas. It is at the para level, she is still non-moving, but having inherently the potential for movement. So she is that pure I, pure aham, purna ahanta, the undivided awareness. It is the power before the differentiation, the infinite capacity, okay, and which it expresses through her own Swatantriya Shakti. Whereas at the Parapara level, what is happening is the formation of the spiral happens. Okay, the water begins to curve. Okay, so this subtle the rotational tendency that we see, okay, starts to form. So the vortex is forming, but it is not yet becoming a distinct entity. So this is equivalent to the subject-object polarity, okay, which will happen. But in the initial stages, it is happening within Ahanta itself. That Idanta manifestation is happening in the Ahanta itself, which is the Sadashiva and the Ishvara and the Shuddha Vidya level. Finally, at the upper level, where it is the visible whirlpool. Now you are having clear structure, there is clear boundaries, there is an observable pattern, which we can actually say, as corresponding to the distinction that we have between the body, the mind, emotions, the objects, time, our capacity to do certain things, and all these things. And each of it looks distinct and separate. But finally, whirlpool is still only water. So these three levels that we are talking, okay, the para, and the apara level, it is the still water, the curving water, and the fully the spinning vortex of the whirlpool. So to give this idea of Shakti is not merely the movement; she is that self-recognition. Okay, the Vimarshana. So to give this idea, this nama of Mahavarta is added here. So one of the most fascinating namas in Bhavani Sahasranama. So she is the Mahavarta.
Mahavrata. Buddhi Siddhi Sadatmika.
Buddhihi Siddhihi. Buddhihi. She is that Buddhi. She is now here. The Buddhi is not the
Mind.
lower level of the Buddhi as we have in the Atma Tattva level. Here, the term Buddhi, when we are referring to Devi herself, refers to her sense of awareness. Okay, one who is aware of what is Siddhi and what is Asat. When we connect it with the next Nama. Alright. So Buddhi, she is that principle which recognizes what is Siddhi or what is there and what is not there. Because presence and absence requires a person to observe and decide. Otherwise, who determines something is present or not present? You should have an intelligent observer to determine the presence or absence of an object. We do not subscribe to the idea of an independent object existing on its own. we say that the object is observer dependent. Exactly where the quantum also comes. There is a beautiful talk available online on the Trika dynamics and the quantum. I will share it with in the group for your reference. It's a beautiful and a very engaging talk. But coming to the point, so she is that which determines the presence or the absence. So she is that intelligent observer. So not the intelligence of at a lower level, but that awareness, okay, of being the subject who determines the presence and the absence. So she is that buddhi which determines the sat and the asat, the siddhi and the sat. So buddhi, siddhi, asat, atmik. It has to be taken together in order to understand it in this particular sense, not as three distinct namas. Then we have the next nama, Mahagraha Hara. So Mahagraha Hara, Mahagraha, the great planets, okay? Hara, one who removes. So we all know as per the Jyotisha, see, planets or the grahas by themselves. I should not use planet. It's not the right equivalent for graha. The grahas are not malefic or non-malefic by themselves. Sometimes we have this idea. Okay, say for example this normal understanding that Shanishchara Graha is malefic or bad. Okay, or something else. But there is, as per the Jyotisha, it is not. The effects of the planet is determined by the position of the other planets and the strength of the position itself. So, when a person's Jataka or Kundali, okay, it is so every planet or every graha's effect on the person is determined by multiple factors. So, a simple boxing of a particular graha to be malefic or a particular graha to be non-malefic is not correct according to even the Jyotisha understanding. So, when we speak normally of words like Mahagraha, within the Jyotisha context, it either refers to Rahu or it refers to Shaneshwara, who have stronger influence, okay, on certain elements of our life. So when Devi is called in this nama as Mahagraha Hara, one who removes the effects of such grahas from from one's Kundali or the horoscope. What we refer to see, it does not mean that the prarabdha is going to be altered, because we should remember, out of the three types of classifying the karma, the agami, sanchita, and the prarabdha. Prarabdha is something that is already come into motion. Even the jnana or self-recognition only takes away the effect of the sanchita and the agami. That is why even post realization, the yogis have the right to determine to continue to be in the body, and they will continue to be in the body as long as the respective prarabdha is destined to hold the body together. At times the prarabdha could be for 32 years or it could be 80 years or whatever. So it is, so prarabdha is already in operation. So normally, how to understand? See, you can dissociate a wheel from a car. The older days, the wheel of the car was using a keel, okay, an iron peg-like thing. If you remove the peg, the wheel will come out of the cart. But that momentum that has already set in will drive that particular wheel to a particular distance before the wheel falls flat. So the prarabdha is like that. It is that momentum which has been created by because of which this particular sharira has been taken. So normally the yogis and the jnanis they allow that momentum to build on to take its course, okay, run its full course. So the namas such as Mahagrahara should not be understood in the sense that the prarabdha is going to be changed. Then how do we understand this nama? Now, effect uh, is not independent by itself. I'll give you an example. This is example which actually Sri Ramanujacharya quotes in his Sri Bhashya. What does the anugraha of Sriman Narayana do? He gives an example. We can borrow that example from him. Doesn't matter that he belonged to a Vishnadvaita Sampradaya. It's a very good example to understand. Say, for example, there is a prarabdha by which you will have to suffer, let's say, the loss of, for example, a loss of your factory. You have to lose your factory. Okay? It will burn down or something like that. Okay? Ultimately, what happens is it causes extreme pain, anguish, etc. That is the actual suffering, right? It's not the physical presence or the absence. It is the reaction it generates in the person, which is actually the phala, which you have to bear. Now, the Sri Ramanujacharya says that the anugraha acts in a manner that you will lose your factory, probably not in Jagrat Avastha, but in Swapna Avastha. So you will have a dream, a very, very real and experientially rich dream where you see your factory burning. You will suffer, you will have the pangs of anguish and all those things. And please remember the way that the time dilates and operates within a Swapna is very, very different from how it operates in a Jagrat. At time, within a very short uh, duration, okay, you will have the entire course,
Correct.
which you will experience in a Swapna. And the vice versa is also possible. Okay, so you will go through that suffering to its full extent in your Swapnavastha. You might not even know, okay, that you have actually suffered that pain of 3, 4, 1 year in your Swapna. It will all happen within that 15, 20 minutes or whatever is your Swapna duration. When you get up, you have already had the dukkha anubhava. So that particular prarabdha karma is already been taken care of. This is exactly how the anugraha of devata works in nullifying, not nullifying, in bringing about the prarabdha's karma's effect in life. So when we have namas like Mahagrahahara, this is how we have to understand. One who removes the effects of the grahas,
Graha.
the great grahas. Right?
Saumya.
Saumya. Saumya comes from the word Soma.
So,
Soma means moon. Normally, the word Saumya is translated and understood in the sense of that which is pleasing. Okay, that which gives comfort. In that sense, the word Saumya is used, but we should know that it is a secondary meaning. See, there are many words whose secondary meaning is used, or in the sense of the secondary meaning, the word itself is used. For example, I am sure all of you would have heard this word Lavanya, either as a name of a person that you know, or you must have heard it in some context. Can you all tell me in what sense have you understood the word Lavanya? Uh, I'm sure all of you have, most of you would have heard this name, right? Lavanya.
Pleasing.
Okay. Yes, you are right, Induji. Anyone else who wants to try? Rupa
Beauty.
Lavanya.
Beauty.
Exactly. Beauty. That is the very common understanding of the word Lavanya. Okay. Now, what if I tell you that the word's primary reference is something else, but secondary reference is beauty? But in the secondary sense, we are now standardized the word Lavanya itself. The primary reference comes from its root word Lavana. Lavana means salt, right? You can prepare the best dish, but without adding the salt in its optimum quantity, the dish does not good look or does not taste its best. Obviously, I'm not referring to sweet dishes. Okay. So just like the right amount of salt gives taste to the food, beauty is having everything in the right proportions. Beauty is in proportions and appropriate proportions, right? You can have nails, but appropriately. Okay. You can have beautiful set of teeth, but appropriately. Everything like that. So being present in a symmetric and an appropriate proportion is what uh, is referred by the word lavanya or beauty in a very simple terms. Now, today we don't use the word lavanya in the sense of having the optimum amount of salt. We use the word lavanya in the sense of beauty only. So there are multiple examples of such usages where the words have been used in its secondary sense and they have become the primary sense of the word themselves. Similarly, the word Saumya also. It is primary sense is that which is derived from Soma, that which belongs to Soma or the moon. So characteristic of moon is this. It does not differentiate between people. So anybody and everybody who looks at the moon is supposed to get a very similar experience, okay, of enjoyment. Similarly, the moonlight is supposed to be soothing, especially in a country like India, where you have, for at least in the plains and the tropical areas, where you have most part of the year, okay, dry and hot. So the moonlight soothes, it pleases, okay, because the whole day we have been now having scorching sun. So moon represented uniform and a soothing experience. So the word Saumya came or comes to be understood in the sense of something that pleases, something that gives happiness, something that gives comfort. So Devi is called as Saumya because she does not differentiate between one and the other. That is why there is a very beautiful Nama in Lalita Sahasranama. Brahma Kita Janani. She is the Janani. She is the mother right from the Brahma, the Chaturmukha Brahma, till the last Kita, the small micro cellular organism. Brahma Kita Janani. The word is Janani. That is the operative word there. Just like the mother will not differentiate between her children, Devi does not differentiate between Brahma or Akita. She is she is the same. Her love and affection for all the beings are the same. So, in that sense, to give that sense, the word Saumya is used to refer to Devi. So, she is Saumya.
Vishoka.
Vishoka.
So Shekharji, if this meeting closes in 10 minutes, we'll rejoin it.
Sure. Vishoka means one who does not have any shoka. Okay, shoka means sorrow. So, free from sorrow. Or one who has transcended sorrow. Now, there are two things: transcending sorrow and bliss. Are these two things one and the same? That's a very important question that is discussed uh, in the darshanas. Is freedom from sorrow same as bliss? I would like to engage your opinion on this. What do you feel?
I don't think that is, because sorrow and happiness is all at an individual level, right? Bliss
Correct.
is not at an individual level. So sorrow
Okay,
and
let us replace
sorrow,
the word bliss with happiness. Is absence of sorrow happiness?
I would say yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Who else agrees with Rakesh ji or disagrees with Rakesh?
I think it is, as Rakesh rightly said, individualistic, but it also varies from time to time.
Right. Okay. Anyone else wants to have an opinion on this?
Yes, we have blissful moments when we meditate. We reach to that state, and when we reach to that state where we feel the bliss, that means we are bereft of sorrow. There is no sorrow. So, but that is a state, and it doesn't remain same all the time.
Okay.
Yes.
But the darshanikas, okay, the acharyas of the philosophies do not agree on accepting the fact that absence of sorrow means happiness.
Mhm.
For them, sorrow is a state of entanglement. Okay. And it is an experience. Say, for example, you cut your hand or a finger while chopping vegetables, you cut your finger. You are in pain and you apply whatever it is, and for some time you feel the pain, and after probably a couple of hours, okay, you don't feel the pain. Now, you have got rid of the sorrow or the pain. But can you say that you are happy? That's not the case.
Yeah, but other way also is not same, na? I get some good
Yes.
news. I am happy, but it remains for some only fraction of second. After that, can I say that that absence of happiness is sorrow? I do not know how
Yeah,
to put it.
exactly. That is the thing.
Ah,
So, it is, if you assume that there are only two states, this is the problem.
correct, exactly. Yes,
Okay. So,
yes,
there is a third state which is
absolutely.
there, which is the state of being indifferent.
Independent. Yeah, that's the point.
Okay. So, there is a state of happiness, there is a state of sorrow, and there is a state of indifference.
Correct.
Okay. You are indifferent to it.
Yes.
And it is this state of indifference that has to be elevated, or we elevate the state of indifference to the state of bliss in meditative trances and experiences. because both sorrow and happiness are emotive, uh, uh, you can say, waves.
They're temporary.
They are
Yeah.
waves of emotions.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, one is swinging on one side, the other is swinging on the other side.
Other side. Correct. Exactly.
It is from the madhya, okay, the midpoint, okay, where you raise to the state of bliss.
Hmm.
So there are certain philosophies like Nyaya who define moksha as freedom from dukkha. Okay, that is why Trika, and even let's take other systems like even Advaita Vedanta, they define the nature of Brahman or the nature of Shiva as essentially blissful. They don't say absence of shoka. It is blissful. So when we see this Nama Vishoka here, it is not referring to Devi at her transcendental level. At her transcendental level, she is Ananda. Okay, at the transcendental level, she is the Ananda.
Ananda.
By Vishoka, what do we mean? One who is untouched by sorrow.
Untouched. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, one who is unaffected by sorrow.
Sorrow.
This is the state not only of for Devi herself, but of the Jnanis themselves, because they and Devi are not different entities. Essentially, they are one and the same.
Hmm.
They are untouched by sorrow. So, they may have what normally other people, okay, would call as as a painful incident or an incident that may cause pain, but they themselves will be free from pain or untouched by pain. For example, Bhagavan Ramana, he was detected with cancer in the throat, right? And the surgery was performed.
Raman
There are
Maharshi.
multiple, yeah, Ramana Maharshi.
Yes.
And there are multiple versions. Some say the surgery was done without an anesthesia. Okay. And how was this even possible? Because he had detached himself from the body consciousness.
Hmm.
So this is the state of being Vishoka. Freedom from the Shoka. Right. Whereas the next Nama, Shoka Nashini,
Shokanashi.
it is for people like us, for the Pashus like us. Okay. We cannot raise ourselves to a state of being Vishoka. Okay. So because we are living in the world and we are experiencing the world from the Apara point of view only. Therefore, we are experiencing Harsha and Shoka, happiness and pain, both. So at our level, she intervenes and she ensures that whatever the pain points are there are removed. Now the pain points happen at three levels. It happens at Adibhautika, Adidaivika and Adhyatmika level. So this is the logic behind chanting Shanti 3 times.
Three times.
Normally at the end of every prayer, we chant the Shanti 3 times. Why 3? Because we want a sense of relief at the Adi Bhautika level. What is Adi Bhautika level? Adi Bhautika level is the physical level, right? Something that affects our body directly. For example, it could be from external things like animals or microbes, kind of things, or people hurting us and sort of thing. So this is the Adi Bhautika level. So there we want Shanti. Then there is the Adi Daivika level. Adi Daivika level is forces on which you have no control. For example, floods. For example, droughts, cyclones. We have no control over it. So we want protection from Adi Daivika Dukkha also. So that is the second Shanti. The third is Adhyatmika level. Adhyatmika level is at an emotional level. Okay. So the mental turbulences that we have. the emotional turbulences that we have. For that to, so for maintaining